Hiya, and welcome back to Tennis Ace. The game that teaches us that, fuck, I had something planned. Ah. The game that teaches us that, I cannot think of anything. The game that teaches us that Keisuke is a hare, not a rabbit. That is all I could think of. I cannot wait for Jun's route. Anyways, let's just hop right in. It's early in the morning, and I'm already standing around in the middle of the shopping district, waiting for a certain someone. Still haven't recovered. Honestly, like, my throat does not have some slight pain in it anymore. Fucking pirate noises. Pirate noises are fun to make, but they hurt a little. But they can cause a bit of pain. And if it's pirate sex noises, then it's just even worse. What are you talking about? This is Tennis Ace. All of them except Keisuke share a single brain cell, and usually it's Yuichi's turn. Like, with the exception of Keisuke and Shoichi, everyone shares a singular brain cell. And usually it is Shoichi's turn with the brain cell. Not Shoichi. And usually it is Yuichi's turn with the brain cell. Because, like, you have Saya, she's violent. June is June. And Haruki actually already has half a brain cell. Okay. Yesterday before I headed home, Keisuke asked me to come to town with him so we could hang out. I also assume he'll be bringing Alex with him because, well, Alex will force his way here anyway. Although considering Keisuke's track record of slipping away from Alex, even that isn't a given. I suppose I could have asked about it yesterday, but it sort of slipped my mind. Besides, I don't even know what he's got planned anyway. Or if he has some kind of plan. From the corner of my eye, I see a familiar gigantic figure cutting its way through the 10 a.m. crowd. Following shortly behind him is Keisuke, who is so dwarfed by the tall wolf that I don't even notice him until he's standing right in front of me.
Good morning, Yuichi.
Morning to you, too. I see you came as well, Alex. It is my job, after all. So I guess this wasn't meant to be a date, then. Did he finally manage to catch you, or did you just decide to let him come with?
I'll avoid making a fuss when he comes with me, at least for the foreseeable future. I don't need him to get into even more trouble with my family.
Thankfully, it has only taken him 9 years to see reason. I don't know, I guess they're late, I don't know.
Hey, come on, at least I'm trying.
The corner of Alex's mouth quirks up, and I can tell the wolf has been having fun teasing Keisuke with this. How kind of you, Lord Keisuke, to understand the plight of even those below you. Truly a noble soul.
Keep that up, and I'm turning right around and going home.
Sorry, I'll stop now. Geez, why does Alex get to make fun of him and I don't? So what's the plan?
I wanted to check out the shopping mall. I hear it's something people do to pass time. I don't think I've ever been to one with friends.
The shopping mall, huh? How awfully and deliciously cliche of him. Not that I mind, just gives me more ammo to tease him with. You're in luck then, the nearest mall has a lot of fun things we can do.
Really? Damn, I'm looking forward to it.
Since he has no idea where the mall even is, I have to guide Keisuke on the way there. First thing I feel as soon as we step inside is a wave of air-conditioned air right to the face. Usually I'm all for air conditioning, but the air inside is so dry and air-conditioned that it nearly makes me choke as soon as we step in.
Whoa, it's kinda chilly in here.
That's most malls. You should have brought a jacket like I told you to.
It's 32 degrees. It's too hot for a jacket.
Yes, but you never know when there will be a sudden temperature drop or maybe rain.
The weather report said it would be hot all day today with no rain.
The weather report isn't always right. It's better to be safe than sorry.
What are you, my mother?
Alex raises an eyebrow, which is borderline the most expressive he is on a general basis. It's kind of weird how I've been getting better at picking up on his humor just from these slight tells. Like how now, for instance, he is annoyed. I think. Don't quote me on that. His expression changes so rarely, I'm never 100% sure on what he's really feeling.
So, what do we do? Do we just walk around?
You wanted to kill time at a mall? Well, that's basically how you kill time at a mall.
That's very interesting.
It gets old. It gets very old very fast. But I can see why he'd think so. Hang on, I'm gonna take my hair down because like it is like pulling on my scalp. Hang on, let me just. There we go. My hair is down now. Okay, I'm actually kind of curious to see where he was going with that. It gets very old very fast, but I can see why I'd think so. Most people just walk around checking the stores. Most of them are clothing stores, electronics, and there is also the obligatory food court.
Those all sound like they'd be fun to browse.
They also have an arcade in an annexed building with an indoors ice skating rink.
Really? That's really cool.
You want to try the arcade?
Nah, the arcade I'm pretty meh on. I do want to check out the ice skating rink.
You do? I didn't think that would be your thing. Have you ever gone ice skating before?
Nope.
He declares it with so much happiness and glee, you could mistake him for a proud veteran. Somehow think this will end horribly if we do go there.
What about you, Shoichi? Have you ever skated before?
Yeah, been a couple years, but Aki used to drag me around to ice skate every now and again. Kids love it for some reason.
I can't wait to try it.
Uh-oh, it is pretty much certain that we're going to go there, isn't it? Perhaps it would be wise to avoid ice skating.
Why?
I've heard horror stories of people falling down and having their fingers chopped off by the blades of other skaters' shoes. No, that kind of thing doesn't really happen often. So they give you security gloves and everything.
Whoa, really?
Don't believe him so easily! While it's true that skates are plenty sharp, they give you a ton of protective gear specifically because of it.
But accidents can still happen, right?
Well, sure, there's always some risk. Just like there's risk of hitting your car crashing, your plane going down, you getting run over, etc.
I don't like this game. Please stop mentioning that sort of thing.
Don't tell me you're the type to get paranoid over this kind of thing. Just the two of us, building castles in the sky. Just the two of us, you and I. I think that's how it goes. I don't know.
I'd rather not hear about it.
Let's go check out some stores.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. Shoichi, wait for me! Shoichi!
After the world's shortest chase sequence, with Keisuke running after me along the corridors, we begin browsing the stores. Most of them are closing. Most of them are clothes stores, with the occasional ice cream or bubble tea stands sprinkled around the corridors. There's one store that specializes in snow globes of all things. I don't even know how there can be enough people buying snow globes year-round to justify a specialized store.
Whoa, this one looks really neat.
Right now, Keisuke is looking at shirts. I could kind of already guess what his taste in shirts was, considering the type of thing I've seen him wear, but he's only looking at plain button-down shirts. Every single one of them is basically the same as the shirt he's wearing right now, except in a different color. Could you be more basic? Damn it. Maybe don't burn your castle down with you inside. Maybe don't do that, because then, like, you will experience death, and it's pretty bad for you. Death is pretty bad for you. Anyways.
Oh, hey, Alex, what do you think of this one? I think it'd look good on you.
Alex raises an eyebrow, staring at yet another button-down shirt, and I swear I can see him scoffing under his breath. Too formal for me.
Is that so? I find this kind of thing pretty casual.
That statement is already pretty scary on its own. What about this one? I pick up a shirt that seems to be about in Keisuke's size and present it to him.
A tank top? I don't think that would be very much my style.
Why not? They're super comfy and everything. Plus, they look good, don't they?
Sure, they look very flattering. On you. I don't think I have the body type to pull it off.
I'm sure you look fine.
A hard pass.
Aww. He continued rifling through the clothing options, not really settling on anything. I guess he was more interested in seeing what was available than actually buying something. No.
I'm surprised at how big of a selection they have here.
It is a pretty large store, so they're bound to have more stuff. Plus, it is a very popular national chain store, so they have access to more products.
Wow, I didn't know that. That's very interesting.
Not really, it's just a store. It's no big deal.
Do all their other stores have big selections like these?
No, I think this is their biggest location in town, so it probably has the largest variety in stock.
Ah, yes, that makes sense.
I get the feeling they didn't even hear me. By the way, it's almost lunchtime. What do you guys want to do?
Oh, is it that late already?
Remember, you have to be back to the estate by 2 p.m.
Yes, I'm well aware.
Huh. Do you have any plans for the afternoon or something?
It's nothing really. I just scheduled with a private tennis coach for the day.
Oh, really? I thought you said you didn't have private coaches.
I didn't, but after losing yesterday, I started getting impatient and decided to call one to see how it'd go.
So I'm the reason he's hiring a coach. Wait, how did he even find one from one day to the next? How did you even have time to search for one?
I asked Alex to look into that for me when we went to shower after practice yesterday.
Part of me can't help but feel that you were being sneaky when we weren't together.
What? No, I would never.
Relax, I'm just joking.
That's not a funny joke.
You make it too easy.
That's none of your business.
Alex smiles, placing a big hand on top of Keisuke's head and gently ruffling his fur.
What are you doing?
Giving you a head pat, shouldn't I?
Do whatever you want.
Alex looks at me and flashes me a smile. I think he's opening up a little more around me. Or at least that's the feeling I get, that he's not holding back as much just because I'm around.
It's 11:32. I will preferably like to be home by 1:30 so I have time to prepare myself for practice.
That means we don't have that much time, but we also won't take 2 hours to get through lunch, especially in a mall.
Yeah, I was thinking the same. You know what? Maybe we could try the ice skating thing.
You sure? What about the risk of losing fingers?
I'll be extra careful.
Keisuke shudders a little at the mention of missing limbs. He really is taking this far more seriously than he has to. It's kind of cute. We should probably be quick if that is the case. I can't imagine us having more than 45 minutes before we need to go to the food court.
True.
It takes a 5-minute walk for us to get to the rink, which is already definitely going to cut into our time before we have to leave for lunch. There are quite a lot of people around and skating, even for this early in the day. Okay, I'm taking down the material. Material girl. Keisuke doesn't know that. Yeah, Keisuke doesn't know that. We could, like, girl boss so hard.
Wow, this place is pretty packed.
It's Saturday, so there are already a lot more people free because of it. Add together the fact that this is a chilly place to hide in during summer heat, and you've got a recipe for a crowd.
I guess that's a fair point.
I don't see new lines forming, so hopefully we won't have to wait to get in the rink.
How does this work?
Just sign up at the counter and get some skates.
That's pretty easy.
What else were you expecting? If you don't mind, I'll just watch from outside the ice.
How come?
Alex stares at the ice for a few seconds, frowning. I don't think I have the dexterity required for this sort of activity. Translation, he doesn't want to embarrass himself in front of you by falling a bunch. His frown intensifies, creating a crease in his eyebrows that is admittedly somewhat humorous to look at.
Okay, we won't be long, so wait for us, Alex.
The wolf nods, walking towards a nearby sitting area. I guess he feels comfortable enough with me that he doesn't feel the need to shadow us constantly for Keisuke's safety. That'd be nice if it is the case. At the reception area, we pay for tickets and rent some skating gear. Nothing too outrageous, just the skates themselves and some safety gloves. There's a clerk by the door to the rink itself that checks to make sure we're wearing the equipment correctly, and after that, we manage to walk inside hassle-free. I go inside first, skating a bit away from the entrance and turning around to watch Keisuke. As horrible as this might make me, I definitely want to watch him take his first steps in the ice. Just managing to stay standing your first time in the ice is already deceptively hard. And a part of me really wants to watch him lose his balance and fall.
Whoa!
As soon as he steps foot in the ice, he begins to lose his balance and has to lean on the outer rails to avoid falling. Hiya. His legs are completely freaking out and sliding everywhere. Someone reminds me of Irish dancing for some reason.
Whoa! How do you do this?
Even the clerk that helped us is trying to hold back from laughing. You just keep your balance.
How?
You just do it. Keisuke definitely doesn't seem amused by my explanation. It's not my fault. I'm not an instructor. I don't know how to properly explain it.
Oh god, I can't even take my hands off the rail.
At least you've managed to get your feet emotionally grounded.
I can't even stand.
I laugh, grabbing one of his arms and trying to pull him along with me.
What are you doing? Just come with me. No, I'm gonna fall.
Everyone falls on their asses at first. It's how you learn. I gesture to the people skating along with us. Sure enough, there are people falling everywhere. And there are also many who, just like Keisuke, are walking alongside the edges holding onto the rails so they can stay up.
This proves nothing.
Keisuke, however, is channeling his internal mule, being incredibly stubborn about it. For crying out loud, just try to skate and get it over with. If you fall, you fall. Or do you just intend to cling to the edge for 30 minutes?
Can you at least catch me if I fall?
That'd be a bad idea. You might take me along with you, and that would increase the chances of one of us getting hurt.
You suck.
His whole body's still shaking a little, but he reluctantly lets go of the edge. I grab his arm and slowly skate backwards while holding onto him. I avoid going fast so he has an easier time keeping his balance. The hair is shaking like a leaf the entire time, looking more at the floor than at me. It's a good thing I've got some experience skating, otherwise we would both be falling on our asses.
Ah! Hold on to me.
I try letting go of him for just a second so he can skate on his own, but he immediately freaks out, and... I try my hardest to hold back laughter, but a very loud snort still manages to come out. Keisuke panics and immediately loses control of himself, falling face first onto the ground.
Ow, ow, ow. The ice is hard.
Of course it's hard. It's ice. I shouldn't have to state the obvious here.
This was a bad idea. Can we leave?
Nope, we're not leaving until you've managed to skate on your own.
What?
This was your idea.
Ow!
There's like a sensitive part of my tongue and I just bit it. Ow. This was your idea. I'm not letting you run away now.
I'll make you see it to the end. Oh no.
I've never been ice skating. I try helping him up onto his feet and he nearly pulls me down along with him. I don't think he could be this clumsy, but it is definitely refreshing to see him failing so hard at something as basic as standing. There you go. His legs shake like two leaves blowing against the wind, and he grabs my arm with a grip so strong I might cut off circulation. I have painful flashbacks to the times we went out with June into a crowd. Very good. Now let's go slow at first, okay?
Alright, just be gentle with me. This is my first time.
Oh god! I was barely able to contain a laugh just now. I'm not going to say anything because I think his head just might explode if he realizes what he just said. I lead Keisuke along the edges. Hang on, let me letting him get a feel for how to glide on the ice and all that. Slowly he starts building up some confidence and getting better at basic standing. He's not doing badly, at least not when I'm holding him. But part of me wants to let him go and watch him fall again. I might just be a terrible person after all. You think you'll be okay if I let you go?
Please don't let go of me.
Alright, I won't. Calm down. There's no need to lose your mind. Ow, 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 ow. There's also no need to grip me so hard. Come on. You have to try and skate on your own feet for at least a little bit.
No, I'll fall.
Falling is part of the experience. How many times do you think I fell when I was first learning? Hell, I still fall sometimes when I try to go faster. And I'll be honest, it's hard to keep my balance when there's someone grabbing and shaking me.
I still don't like it.
I'll help you up if you fall, but you've got to at least try to do it on your own.
Okay.
I slowly let go of his arm until he is standing all on his own. His body swerves violently to the sides at first, but he manages to somehow stay on his feet.
I'm doing it. I'm standing.
Good job. Now, once you've gotten more used to it, try going forward.
Alright.
Sometime later, Keisuke diligently follows my instructions. He still falls quite a few times, and I can't help keep myself from laughing at those since they are just too funny. But he at least doesn't get too discouraged. By the time Alex comes by to tell us we need to have lunch, he's at least capable of going forwards on its own. Pretty small steps, but hey, progress is progress. At least it was still fun trying to teach him, even if I fail miserably as a teacher. A fact that he definitely did not let escape me as he kept remarking it every chance he got. I do feel a bit uncertain as I don't know if he had fun. But by the end of the day, when we've bid our farewells, he was still smiling. I definitely feel like my time together with him was short today, but I was still able to enjoy his company. And Alex's. Going home and make sure to shoot him a message thanking him for the invite. For some reason, I can't stop smiling as I type to him. I hope Monday comes soon. June 4th, Sunday. I idly flipped through the pages of my textbook, not really focusing on anything in particular. I decided to study a little bit before midterms started tomorrow, but so far I've made very little progress. I already know most of this stuff, but I thought getting a refresher couldn't hurt. To be perfectly honest, I'm just trying to emulate Keikun a little. I sort of envy his diligent attitude towards everything. It reminds me of how I used to be that way when I was a kid. I was able to force myself to sit down and get things done, even though I hated doing it more than anything. What happened to all the discipline I used to have? Huh? What a surprise. I can't believe you're actually studying. Aki comes down from the stairs looking over my shoulder at my textbook and notes. To be honest, neither can I. Whoa, you actually agreed with me? Do you have a fever or something? That's kind of harsh. You're being surprisingly agreeable today. What's up? I'm trying to be a little more like Keikun. Like Keisuke-san? How so? Well, I just kind of admire and envy his straightforward attitude. No matter what it is, he has that sort of, if I'm going to do it, I'll do my best at it attitude that I seem to lack. Is that so? Hey, Aniki, you've been spending a lot of time with Keisuke-san lately, haven't you? I guess so. It kinda looks like you've been watching him a lot more carefully if you've managed to notice that much. Huh? What do you mean? Well, you've known Keisuke-san for a little over a year, but until now, I'd barely hear you talking about him, and I don't even remember him ever coming over on his own. And all of a sudden, you've been going to visit him, he's been showing up here a lot more, and you talk about him quite a bit, too. I do? Yeah, it kinda makes me happy. Why would that make you happy? I mean, just said it yourself, right? You're trying to be more like Keisuke-san. Ever since your last year of middle school, you've started acting like you just don't care about things anymore. I was a little worried. I mean, you used to be really focused and straightforward, too. How could I not worry? Do you really think that? Yeah. Ah, great. Now I'm making my little brother worry about me. And I think you might be rubbing off on Keisuke-san, too, now that I think about it. Me? Rubbing off on that guy? No way. Okay, story time. The first time I think this was a roller. No, it wasn't rollerblading. It was just like roller skating. You know those roller skates that you're able to rent from like the roller rinks on the roller rinks. My elementary school, I think it was either elementary school or middle school, I can't remember. They decided to take us there one day. So I'm just like doing so I got my skates and I get onto the floor and I fall on my ass. Actually, this might have been with my grandmother. Yeah, I was with my grandmother. I fall. I get up, skate for a little bit, I fall. I get up, and I go sit on the little bench that they have there. And I get up. Now, the floorboards were a little warped. I will say this, the floorboards were warped. And there was one where they were so warped that they went up. They just went up. Like, there was just like an incline right below, like where the, I guess where like it was like right below something. I don't know what it was, but it was right below something. And it inclined up. I don't know, last time I was there was, holy shit, almost 5 years ago. Like I said, it inclined up. So, I go and I start, like, going up and down that while holding onto the guardrail. And then I go behind it. Then I go behind the guardrail into that incline. And then I fall on my ass. And that is a true story. I think. I do not know. I do not remember a whole lot. Or a couple times when I just, like, stole, like, the trainers. I'll just, like, steal trainers because, like, what some people do is they would rent them, and then they wouldn't bring them back after they've left. The story that I just told you, I was, like, 8 years old. I was, like, 8 years old, I think. I don't know. I cannot remember how old I was. I think I might have been 10, actually. I don't know. I cannot remember how old I was. Sure you are. I might not hang out with you guys all that much, but he's really different from how he used to act a few months ago. I mean, he smiles a lot more and he's not as rough around the edges. Last time he came over while I was home, he was even clinging to you. That was just because of the storm. It's not like it had some kind of deep meaning. Next time I go roller skating, if I ever go roller skating again, I will have to try that. Just like going around on all fours, going, "Aya, aya, aya, aya." Granted, if I do that, I might get arrested. I don't know. You say that, but, nothing. Just thinking out loud. You're just gonna leave me hanging after saying this much? Sounds about right, yeah. Sometimes you really scare me with how mature you are for your age. It's just a thought, but maybe you should have Keisuke-san come over. You two could study together. Who knows? Maybe his diligence might be contagious after all. I can't just call him out of nowhere and ask him to come over. He has other things to do with his time. The police won't be able to catch me if I'm faster. Yeah, that is true. But I don't want to deal with it. But I don't want to deal with police. He has other things to do with his time. It won't hurt to try. It's pretty obvious you're no longer used to studying, so you might need all the help you can get. Especially since you left it for the day before your midterms. What do you mean it's pretty obvious I'm not used to studying? I can see your notes from here. They're a mess. You've crossed out a bunch of your text and I can see a lot of unfinished sentences. What? That doesn't mean anything. My mind was just wandering. This isn't the best that I can do. No offense, but if your mind is going to be wandering while you're studying, isn't that all the more reason to have someone come over so that can help you focus? Oh, I hate that he has one. I cannot study in a group. This was about a year ago. Me and some friends, we went to work on homework. Hi and welcome to literally every single Theta Dog stream where we get sidetracked every 5 seconds. It was in a group with some friends. We went to the library in order to study. We did not study. We made fun of one of my friends' laptops, her laptop, and then proceeded to watch memes for like an hour. I hate having to spend a Sunday evening studying. This is your fault for not studying before today. I did study. A little bit. Not that much, though. Enough to maintain my current grades, at least. You're lucky you're quick study. If it weren't for that, you'd be borderline flunking out of school by now. I'm well aware. Just make sure you don't bother Keisuke-san too much. It's unseemly to be having to depend on a junior to get your grades up. You're the one who just told me to call him over. Make up your damn mind. It's okay to ask for a little help, but you shouldn't abuse it. You know I'm not the kind to abuse other people's kindness. It's never too late to start. You know, it's sad that you have so little faith in me. That's just your imagination. I believe in you lots. Uh-huh. Anyway, I'm heading out. Already? You only just got home this morning. I know, but I want to hit the club for a bit. Maybe look for a practice partner. Oh, so that's why you've got your tennis gear with you. Of course. What else would I be doing with it? Cosplay? Don't talk to me like that. Anyway, I'll be back in a few hours. Good luck with your studies. Try not to bother Keisuke-san too much, okay? Somehow I don't even feel like I'm the older brother anymore. Although he does have a point. I guess it couldn't hurt to check in on Keikun and see what he's been up to. My brain does that. My brain does that. God knows I'm going to need help if I want to improve my grades. Sending a message feels too impersonal, so I'm asking him to drop by whenever he's doing and come over. I'll try calling him instead. Hello, Shoichi. The call connects, and suddenly I hear Keisuke's voice on the other side. Hey there, sorry to call all of a sudden. Are you busy? I'm afraid so. I don't really have time to talk right now. Oh, sorry to bother you. I didn't know. It's alright. You just said it yourself. You didn't know. Now, is there anything you wanted? Yeah, it's nothing big. I just wanted to know if you could come over. Maybe you could study together a bit. Midterms are tomorrow and all. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm currently tied down with some other stuff I need to do. I can't really leave the estate right now. Did something happen? I'll tell you about it sometime later. I'm sorry, but I'll need to end the call right now. Alright. I hope everything's okay. I'll talk to you later. Well, that sucked. I wonder what is going on. His voice seemed really serious. Now I'm going to have an even harder time concentrating than I was before. Thanks for the genius idea, Aki. Maybe I should try calling someone else. I think Shoichi might be studying today. Sai doesn't really believe in studying the day before a test. Shoichi's probably relaxing. But Shoichi rarely ever even takes a break. Yeah, I'll try talking to him. I quickly select his number from my contacts list and listen to the dial tone, waiting for him to pick it up. Huh? Went straight to voicemail. Right, he has a habit of turning his phone off when he's studying. Of all the annoying habits to have, what if this were an emergency? And I don't have the number for his landline either. I guess I'll try to drop by. What's the harm in that, right? I'll just gather my things before I go so we can already study there. Hopefully Takehiko-san won't be too annoyed that I showed up without warning. There aren't many people walking around the streets at this time of day. The area is already pretty quiet for most of the time, and without people coming and going from work or school, it's pretty much a ghost town. Good thing Shoichi doesn't live all that far from me. Not as close by as his previous place, but still close enough. Takes me about 20 minutes to get there. I knock on his door, waiting for a few seconds for a response. I immediately see the figure of an older husky. Takehiko-san regards me with a raised eyebrow for a second. Shoichi, what a surprise. Hi there, good afternoon. Sorry to drop by unannounced. I wanted to talk to Shoichi, but he's not answering his phone. He's in his room studying. He doesn't have time to be playing around with his phone. Right, that's what I was imagining. I was hoping he and I could study together. I even brought my textbooks and notes and whatnot. His eyes widen ever so slightly, and Takehiko-san stares at me with stunned silence. Yep. Hi, bitch. He holds a finger to his chin, lost in thought for a few seconds. You did get him to improve his grades quite a bit when you two were younger. I suppose it might work again. Yeah, sure. He still wants Shoichi's grades to improve? They're already really high. Isn't that a little bit greedy? Alright, come on in. You know where his room is. Takehiko-san sits back down on the sofa, pulling out a laptop that was on the coffee table and typing away on it. It's like, as soon as he let me in, he completely ignored my existence. I can't tell if that's rude or impressive. He could have at least wished me a good afternoon, too. I knock on the door, but after a few seconds, I hear no response. I try knocking again, this time a little bit louder, but still get nothing. Is he asleep or something? There's no way. I carefully open the door, peeking in to see what he's up to. I see Shoichi sitting at his desk, earbuds plugged into his computer, and writing something down on his notebook. He's definitely studying. Maybe he has music on, and that's why he didn't hear me. Shoichi? Shoichi? I speak a little louder than I normally would. His ears twitch ever so slightly, and he pulls one of his earbuds off, turning his head around. Do you need a... Huh? Shoichi? Hey there, sorry for the intrusion. I tried knocking on the door, but you didn't answer, so I let myself in. What are you doing here? I was kind of hoping we could study together. I figured you'd still be at it, and I kind of need a presence that can help me stay focused. Study? Wow. I totally didn't see that coming. No wonder Dad let you in. What? Why? Do you think he would have turned me away if he thought I would distract you? I 100% do, yeah. Oh. I didn't think I'd actually be right. Now I feel kind of insulted. Anyway, what are you studying right now? Before we start, though, I have a question. What is it? How come you just decided to study all of a sudden? That's so unlike you. Why does everyone keep asking me that? Everyone? Aki asked me the same thing earlier today. He acted like it was a big deal when he walked in and saw me studying. Well, considering how much you tease him for being a responsible student, do you really think he'd let pass the opportunity to fire back? Still, it's like I'm some kind of delinquent or problem child. I also study. Yeah, at 5-minute increments and only on a superficial level. Other than that, you're perfectly happy letting yourself be carried by just watching class. Why do I feel like I'm getting talked down to here? Oh, please, isn't that why you stopped studying with me in the first place? You hate having to put in the effort. Which brings me back to my earlier question. How come? Well, I just thought it would be easier to concentrate if I had someone around who didn't let me slack off. Oh, I won't. Trust me on that. By the time I'm done with you, you'll be reciting pi to the 40th decimal. That's good! And also mildly concerning. Especially considering how that's not even part of our coursework. Shh. Don't fight it. Just let it happen. Don't fight it. Just let it happen. Okay, now you're just being plain creepy. I came here to study, not to be made fun of. If I wanted that, I'd have stayed at home. But seriously, what changed? Oh my god, you're such a broken record. Can we move forward, please? Fine, forgive me for wanting a bit of levity. So, what are we going to be studying? I was going over social studies since that's going to be tomorrow's test. Yeah, that's probably smart. Currently looking at philosophy. Was reading the chapter of Plato and the theory of forms. Ugh, philosophy is so boring. Already? I literally only read the chapter name to you. I already regret this decision. A few hours later. And with that, we finished the ancient Greece portion on our philosophy textbook. Thank God! You know, there's a certain irony to be had by explaining that while studying Greek philosophers. All I know is I'm glad these people died when they did, otherwise this chapter might have been twice as long. Jesus, Shoichi, that's horrible! Yeah, I'm a terrible person, sue me. I don't think I like you when you're like this. There's knocking on the other side of the door. Come in. Takehiko-san opens the door, walking inside while looking around at the room. His eyes rest on us for a second, and he squints. We've just finished going over philosophy. We were going to get started on economics next. We were? Oh god! Spare me from this! Why do all the worst subjects have to be in the same test? Takehiko-san nods, walking towards us. He grabs Shoichi's notes and idly flips through them, quickly reading through the important ones before moving on to the next one. The whole thing seems very bizarre to me, but Shoichi merely stares at his father like this is the most natural thing in the world. After a couple minutes of this and no words being said, Takehiko-san places the notebook back down on the desk. The corner of his mouth quirks up ever so slightly, barely noticeable. He puts a hand on top of Shoichi's head and idly runs his fingers through it, petting him. That's good. I suppose you're not hopeless after all. Thank you. I'm going to order food. I'll call you boys over when it arrives, and then you can take a break to eat. Sounds good. I appreciate the offer, but I don't know if I should. I'm usually the one who makes dinner at home. Takehiko-san raises an eyebrow, looking at me like I just said something completely absurd. What about your mother? She usually works a lot of overtime every day, so she's rarely home for dinner, let alone to make it. That's unfortunate. Mother should prioritize taking care of the house and the children before all. Wow. Misogynist. The whole thing rubs me the wrong way. I can understand why I'd think like that, but that's such an antiquated belief. But still, I don't really want to ruffle any feathers. Besides, it's not like I could change his mind even if I tried. If anything, I'd just make this whole situation very uncomfortable. Well, she has to make money to support this house somehow. The older husky sighs, rubbing the bridge of his snout, his left brow twitching a few times. I suppose that cannot be avoided. You should call your brother and let him know you'll be late. He can make arrangements. What? But I'm sure if it comes to it, Aki could take care of himself. And it's just for one night. He can just order food. He has his own allowance. Well, sure he does, but I'm shocked that Shoichi is even going along with this. Usually he'd be the type to tell me to take care of Aki. I mean, yeah, he gets on my case for being overbearing from time to time, but he's not one to tell me to just leave Aki be. This whole conversation feels really weird. Stay. Studies are more important, and Shoichi's making good progress having you around, so I'd rather you not leave just yet. It's like I'm here to tutor him, you know, and I couldn't even if I wanted to. I don't remember a lot of this stuff. I'll order food. You boys carry on. Without another word, almost as if he were leaving no room for debate, Takehiko-san leaves the room. It's not like what he said is really wrong. I know he places a lot of value in studying, and insisting I stay is his way of looking out for me. But somehow the whole conversation left a bitter taste in my mouth. Sorry about that. Dad can be really strict when it comes to academics, but he means well. I didn't really feel like I had a choice on the matter. Yeah, he kind of has that authoritative tone of voice. Surprised you actually went along with him. Thought you'd try to talk him out of it and would say I needed to go home to take care of Aki. Well, Aki is old enough to be able to fix himself dinner. It's not like it's a big deal. It's not about it being a big deal, it's about the principle. I guess. Dad just suggested it because he thought it'd be better for you. And for you as well, it seems. Huh? He said he didn't want me to leave yet because you were making good progress. Which, to be honest, I don't really know how I could possibly be helping you here. Well, it's true that I'm having an easier time grasping the material with you around. You are? How? Since I'm having to explain it to you, it forces me to try and articulate my thoughts as best as I can to make it easy to understand. That ends up helping me too, since I understand things better that way. Huh, didn't think of that. Yeah, so me helping you study is also helping me to study. Glad it could be useful for something. Come on, don't say that sort of thing. Here, we should probably get started on the next subject. If we're lucky, we might be able to get at least halfway through before dinner break. I have a feeling I'm going to be stuck here all night. A few hours later. God! My whole body is sore. By the time we were able to run through the entire material to Shoichi's satisfaction, it was already almost 11 p.m. Having to sit still on an uncomfortable wooden chair the whole time really makes my back hurt. You really don't have to walk me home, you know. Well, you refused to spend the night, so I thought the least I could do was walk you home. And of course, once I was ready to head home, this happened. I'm not a small child, you know. Nobody said you were. I'm just looking out for you like I would any other friend. Somehow that answer still leaves me dissatisfied. Thanks for coming over today, by the way. Wait, you're thanking me? Shouldn't it be the other way around? You helped me a ton more than I did you. Nah, you're just imagining things. Having you around to bounce ideas off have helped me catch on to the material much faster. I've half a mind to steal you away for the rest of the week to keep studying. You're kidding, right? What? Doesn't sound like a bad idea to me. It would help both of us tremendously, too. I don't think I could handle an entire week of this. No! Please have mercy. Huh? Nothing. I said nothing. As soon as we take a turn on the street, my house becomes visible from the distance. Right away, I noticed a car parked right by the entrance. That's weird. Do we have guests or something? Why are you asking me? If you don't know it, then how should I know it? I wasn't literally asking you, just talking out loud. Probably shouldn't do that. People start thinking you're crazy. You're the only one here. And I'm still people, so be careful I don't start thinking you're crazy. I roll my eyes, grabbing my keys and going for the door. You want to come inside real quick? Get some water or something? Sure, I have to admit, I'm also curious to see who's a mystery visitor. Nothing like mental exhaustion with the BF, well, previous BF. Yeah, it's probably just someone from my mom's work. At 11 p.m., I very much doubt it. I'd believe anything her work asks her to do at this point. I wait for Shoichi to get in first and then make sure to close and lock the door behind me. I put the keys on a little key holder we have by the front door where I immediately notice my mother's keys are still absent from it. Only Aki's are here at the moment. That's weird. I don't trust it. I don't trust it. Should I bring up sensor? Should I bring up the sensor? Am I going to freak the hell out? Seriously, should I bring up the sensor? Okay. Horizontal sensor, go! That's weird. While I'm busy examining and sorting my keys, Shoichi finishes taking off his shoes and heads into the living room. I hurry to take mine off and follow suit. Oh! Oh, never mind. Just them. The first thing I see is a very tall wolf sitting on our sofa with a teeny tiny cup of tea in his hand. His body turned towards the door to see who is coming in. Shoichi stands frozen by the doorway, staring at the scene. Alongside Alex, I also see Keisuke staring at the two of us with a weird look on his face. Is something the matter? He sputters those words out very uncertain. It takes me a few seconds to compute that he's probably a little rattled by the looks on our faces. Urashihara? What are you doing here? I could be asking you the same thing. Isn't it a little late to be showing up to someone's house? Like you're one to talk. That's not what I meant. So you were out with Shoichi. Could have at least said something. We were worried. Worried? Huh? Why would you be worried? And not to mean any offense, but what are you two doing here? I make a gesture towards the two unannounced guests with my chin. I felt bad about not having time to talk to you earlier today, so I came here as soon as I was free. I even brought my notes and textbooks. I look at the seat right next to him and immediately my eyes are drawn to his school bag. But even with that explanation, the whole thing just sounds too absurd to my mind. You came over at 11 p.m. to study. What? No, of course not. That'd be stupid.
I came over at 9 p.m., then Aki-kun said you weren't home and asked if I wanted to wait until you arrived.
Okay, I think it's safe to say that I've mentally checked out at this point. I just can't. You do know that's just as weird, right? Like, it's not possible that you can't just see how just friggin' weird that is.
I just thought I could help a little. I mean, what about Yurata? He's also here late at night.
Don't include me in this. I just came here to walk him home after he spent the day at my place. Still, you didn't tell me you had asked Urushihara to study with you first. Why would you even do that? You guys are in different years and all. You don't study the same material. Well, Keisuke-san was the whole reason he was even studying in the first place. Huh? Is that so? Aki, for once in your life, are you incapable of keeping your mouth shut? What'd I do? It's the truth. Some things are better left unsaid. Especially when they are embarrassing.
I made you want to study? I think I'm lost.
It's not a big... Oh, he said since... Damn, Aki. He said since he's been spending so much more time with you lately, he's starting to feel inspired by how responsible and diligent you are.
I'm flattered.
Okay. This time you absolutely did it on purpose, you dick. This is a lot of stuff to absorb all at once. Now that's just wonderful. Aki managed to find a way to brick two people's brains all at once. Seriously, this isn't a big deal. Don't overthink it.
It's still kind of nice to hear. I'm glad our time together has been having such a positive impact.
I wasn't even aware you guys were spending so much time together. Seriously, it's not a big deal. Why is everyone making such a big deal out of it?
Well, I guess we have been spending a lot more time together now that I think about it. I'm definitely not complaining about it, though.
I see. I guess I'm a bit out of the loop since I've been too busy to hang out lately. Why does the mood feel so awkward all of a sudden? Sheesh, why is everyone quiet? This isn't a funeral. You really need to learn to be quiet sometimes. You're one to say that. Hang on. As confused as I am already, I still feel like I need to recognize a huge elephant in the room. Or in this case, it'd be a wolf, I guess. Shoichi's eyes fall into Alex's figure, and he makes a pointing gesture to the wolf. I guess I get why Urushihara is here, but seriously, who is this guy?
Oh, right, I guess
I'm his bodyguard.
That's not how I would have put it, but I suppose it's true.
Oh no, that's exactly the way to put it. You were just going to blabber a lot and to try and dodge his question. Right, I think I remember Saichan mentioning something about a bodyguard, although she did describe him being tall like a mountain. So I was expecting a bit more, well, just more. That's easy to say when you're also ridiculously tall. I suppose that's a good point. And my apologies. I should have introduced myself first since I'm the only stranger in the room. Now that's quite alright. This whole situation was already pretty confusing, so I don't blame you for feeling awkward. Alex frowned, staring at Shoichi with a slightly confused look on his face. Of course, Shoichi probably wouldn't be able to notice it, but I've kind of gotten used to reading the nuance in Alex's expressions, even if it's just a little. Like how when he's frowning, that means he's mad, but when he's frowning, that means he's amused, and when he's frowning, he's also thinking about something. Honestly, the real takeaway here is that he frowns a lot. Alex can come off as really intimidating at first, but he's a good guy. I just feel like I have to put this out here for clarity's sake, but Alex is just a nickname. My name is Alexander. Nice to meet you, Alexander. I guess you really are as much of a foreigner as you look. Hiya. Alex blinks a few times, cocking his head slightly to the side. I look foreign? I thought I blended in well with the locals. Well, you don't really have any noticeable accent, but you are way taller than a Japanese, and you don't usually see wolves with your fur pattern over here. Also, the fact that you walk around with an uncovered tattoo is also a bit of a dead giveaway. Is it? It is? No one ever said anything about it, at least other than the time I was barred from entering bathhouse because of it. Tattoos are kind of a Yakuza thing in Japan, so people don't look at them with very good eyes. I'm surprised you didn't already know that. Oh. He muses over it for a few seconds, echoing a low-pitched humming sound from his throat for a second. Maybe I should cover it up.
Your tattoo is fine. More than fine, even. It helps you do your job. People avoid you in the street because of it.
Well, it's not like the super jacked, tall as sin, always frowning wolf needs any help to look threatening. He already has that covered with or without the tattoo. Anyway, I really should leave. Dad will wonder why I've been gone for so long. And, nice running into you, Urushihara.
And nice running into me. Are you okay? You don't usually say nice things like that.
I'm just fine, don't worry about it. I'll hopefully see you guys tomorrow. Might not have time to stop by and say hi, though. Have a good night, Shoichi. Thanks for looking after my brother. Looking after? What the hell do you think we were doing together? You were being a bother, of course. You little... Have a good night, too, Aki-kun. I'll talk to you later. Shoichi out towards the entrance, and before I know it, I hear the key turning and the door being opened and closed behind him. He wasted no time at all leaving. Actually, he didn't even say bye to me. Oh, okay. Cool.
And we should actually be on our way, too.
Already?
Yes, well, ideally, I'd have liked to spend more time together, but I can't get home too late, and I did spend 2 hours waiting for you to arrive. I just wanted to make sure you were alright. To be perfectly honest, I was about to call a few of our family's workers to form a search party.
I was out for 2 hours. You're being ridiculous.
I guess. I just didn't know you had a habit of staying out so late.
He doesn't actually. I was pretty surprised too. Usually he at least calls beforehand. Or answers his phone. Wait, answer my phone?
Right, I tried calling you before coming over, but there was no answer. I tried some more along with Aki-kun after I arrived, and while we were waiting... while we were waiting, but all calls went straight to voicemail.
I reached for my phone in my pocket, pressing the power button to light up the screen. Right. Shoichi made me turn it off while we were studying so I wouldn't get distracted. I'm not used to turning it off, so I forgot it completely.
Oh, I suppose that makes sense. I should have thought of that.
Yeah, Shoichi's a special kind of annoying when it comes to studying. Full of all these little
Rules and regulations.
Turning your phone off when you study is super basic. What are you talking about? Shh! Nobody asks you, Wonder Boy. Wonder Boy? Do I even want to ask? It's because you always think you're so wonderful. So that's a no.
Anyway, I should really be on my way. Talk to you later, Yuichi.
Right, so you came all this way for nothing.
Nah, nothing to be sorry for. I got to see you, so it wasn't a wasted trip.
Keisuke gives me a quick, gentle squeeze on the shoulder as he passes by me on the way to the door, immediately making my ears switch and my face grow hot. Right!
The door's already open, so we'll just see ourselves out. Have a good night.
Thank you kindly for receiving us. Alex bows to the two of us. Sure, good night, guys. I quickly follow behind the two, locking the door after saying our farewells. When I get back to the living room, I see Aki has hopped to the bigger couch, flipping the pages of some book I don't recognize. You know, I get that you like to tease me, but we really need to have boundaries about the things you tell others. What do you mean? I mean that you didn't have to tell anyone that I was feeling inspired by Keikun. Why are you doing air quotes with your fingers? You literally said you were trying to be more like him. They didn't have to know that! This kind of friendship where you hide everything from everyone really doesn't make any sense to me. So what if they know that? It's not a big deal. You're saying that now, but the only reason you told them was because you knew it embarrassed me. Just because I knew you'd make a big deal out of it doesn't mean I agree that it is a big deal. He goes back to flipping the pages of his book, not even looking at me anymore. You need to be a little more honest with your friends. You bottle things up too much. I'm not taking relationship advice from a 12-year-old. Fine, feel free to keep floundering about and feeling awkward about everything. Floundering? Where did you even learn that word? It's a bit too advanced for someone your age. I like to read. What are you reading anyway? I circle around the couch, sitting next to Aki and peering at its book. He closes it, giving me a glimpse of the cover. A simplified version of Macbeth. My world literature teacher assigned this to us. Shakespeare? That is definitely way too advanced for your grade. It's fine. This one is actually really dumbed down, and I have a hard time enjoying it because all the characters act like what a man in his 40s thinks modern kids talk like. Yikes. That doesn't sound good. Yeah, reading a character talk in modern slang inside a period novel really isn't fun. Kind of kills the immersion, really. Sorry you have to go through that, then. I'll be fine. I'm almost done with it. At least writing the report on the book will be really easy. Book reports are the most tedious thing to work on, though. I can think of worse stuff. I can just regurgitate what I remember of it on the paper, and I'll be sure to do well. That's a somewhat gross way of putting it, but I guess it works. Just make sure you don't stay up too late. I'm heading to bed. Don't worry. I'll just finish this chapter and I'll go to sleep. Have a good night. You too. Immediately as I get to my bedroom, I shut the door behind me, turn off the lights, and plop myself down on my bed. I feel so mentally exhausted after hours of Shoichi drilling philosophy and the likes into my head that I barely have the energy to take off my clothes before sleep. A couple of seconds later, and without getting up from the bed, I dress myself down to my underwear and go under the covers. My head hurts. Pretty sure I just might dream of Play-Doh tonight. And that is so clearly not a good thing. June 5th, Monday. Murmurs echo all throughout our classroom. Today is one of the most feared days of the year. Midterms. A hellish week filled with nothing but the most difficult challenges, breaking the spirits of students all around campus, leaving them nothing more than empty husks deprived of their will to live. A week where teachers delight in watching their students' faces contorting with fear, despair, and sorrow. When all those who fail to appropriately prepare themselves are handed a cruel dose of reality, staring at questions they'd have no hope of answering. All those around me who are now waiting with full dread for the ringing of the bell which announces the end of the road. Just watching their hopes and dreams being crushed as the clock ticks ever closer to the beginning of their worst nightmares makes my heart weep in pity and anguish. Abandon all hope, those who walk into these classrooms. Did you see the latest episode of X Cross Ninja Stars? Yeah, it was pretty good. It was pretty great. Well, now Sagami is going to squirm his way out of that situation. Right? It's already been made really clear he's not strong enough to defeat the Demon Lord. Do you think he's going to die? What? No, wait. Tomitaka-sensei would never kill him. Sagami is the show's most popular character. Truly the faces of hopelessness and despair. I don't know. What do you think, Yuichi-san? Huh? Sorry, I was spacing out. What were you saying? Never mind. Are you alright? You've been staring at that page for the past 10 minutes without flipping it. Yeah, I'm fine. Just trying to distract myself from my own boredom. I don't even know why you're bothering to try to study now. We only have a few minutes until the bell rings. It's not like it's going to do you any good. This is less for the sake of not studying, and more so I won't feel so guilty over barely having studied. Oh, is that so? Must be nice being so smart that you don't have to study. Someone's a little bitter. What? Me? No! How the fuck does it take us several days to just realize that Jun is a gay man? How the fuck does it take us so many days to realize that? Like, how? 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 What about you? Did you study at all, Jun? That's funny you'd ask. Well, first we'd have to understand what it means to study. You didn't study at all either, did you? I studied a little bit. You really have no right to be complaining to me. What were you doing with your time that you didn't even study? Well, I spent a lot of time preparing for the festival, and then I spent the rest of my time practicing the piano. Just be careful you don't end up flunking out of third year again. I'm not going to flunk. It's okay. I'm sure you'll both do well. Everyone's just trying to distract themselves before tests start. It won't do us any good to obsess about it now. Yeah, that's a good point. It's easy for him to say, though. Genna's among the top 30 students in third year. Really? The mouse smiles awkwardly, scratching his cheek. I suppose that's true. In that case, shouldn't you be in the same class as Shoichi-san? Yeah, I did make it into that class, but I turned it down. Why? Without me around to keep an eye on him, I don't know if Jin would be able to graduate. Don't tell him I said that, though. I sit right next to you. I heard that. Oh, hey, Jin. Beautiful weather we're having today, right? Don't try to change the subject. Even despite the stress and exhaustion of constant studying, Jin remains as short-tempered as always. Is it really okay for these two to be bickering right before the test? Gin has been tutoring Jin since I've known the two. He's the main reason the guy even got into the school in the first place. That's not really what I asked. Well, I don't really have an answer for what you asked. These two are some of the weirdest people I know. Probably because they're twins. Twins are just weird. Man, I'm really not looking forward to the tests. You really should have studied more. I don't want to hear that from you, of all people. Hey, I might not study a lot, but I still get good grades. So everyone says. I still remember the results of the mock tests. We'll probably both do a little better than we did in them. How so? They usually make the mock tests a little harder than the real midterms to scare students into studying more. What? Why didn't anyone tell me that? Probably because you would have studied even less if you knew. The twins stop bickering just so Gin can cut into the conversation at the best possible timing. That's not true! We can all plainly tell from the look on your face that it is true. It's not all bad. At least that means you'll have a better chance now. I don't know whether that makes me happy or sad to hear. Don't worry. Tests are easy. You just gotta know a special little trick. A trick? You are not going to teach him how to cheat. What? But it's super useful. Oh. Cheating? Never mind. Hiya. Suit yourself. Good luck doing senior year again. I'm not going to fail. Poor Jun. Tests haven't even started and his brain is already shutting down. few hours later. And we're going to leave off here tonight. Ah! Anyways, stay safe, have a good night, and I will see you all tomorrow.